Hey everyone, welcome back to Healthy Aging Talks. I'm Nancy, I'm 76 years old, and today we're diving into something that's going to surprise a lot of people.
I'm Dr. Stan Lee, a physical therapist specializing in geriatric rehabilitation. And yeah, this one really opened my eyes when I started working with patients like Nancy.
Right? And before anyone gets worried, we're not saying walking is bad. Walking is great, but there's this huge gap in what people think walking does versus what it actually does for your body after 75.
Exactly. So today we've got some really eye-opening research, and we're going to break down why so many active seniors who walk every single day still end up falling and getting injured.
And more importantly, we're sharing 5 specific exercises that fill those gaps. Dr. Lee, these are the ones you had me start doing, right?
Yes, Nancy came to me about 3 months ago with some balance concerns, and these exercises have made a huge difference. We'll talk about that later, but first, let's get into the big myth.
Okay, so Dr. Lee, when I first came to you, I told you I walk every single day for 30 minutes. I thought I was doing everything right. What did you tell me?
I remember that conversation. You were so frustrated because you were following all the standard advice, walking regularly, staying active, but you were still feeling unsteady, especially when turning around or getting up from chairs.
Exactly. I kept thinking, what am I doing wrong?
And that's the thing. You weren't doing anything wrong. The advice itself is incomplete. Here's what I told Nancy. Walking is wonderful for your heart, your circulation, your mood. But walking alone leaves critical gaps in your physical abilities after 75.
That really stuck with me because when I thought about it, I realized, when do I actually feel unsteady? It's never when I'm walking in a straight line.
Right. Tell everyone, when do you feel most unsteady?
When I'm turning around in my kitchen, when I'm reaching up into cabinets, when I'm getting off the toilet, when I'm stepping sideways to avoid my cat.
Exactly. And none of those movements are the same as walking forward at a steady pace.
It's so obvious when you say it like that, but I never made that connection before.
Most people don't. And here's what the research shows. Falls don't happen during steady forward walking. Falls happen during transitions, turns, reaching, standing up, reacting to something unexpected.
So walking trains you to walk, but it doesn't train you for all the other stuff life throws at you.
Perfect way to put it, Nancy. Now let me explain what's actually happening in your body after 75 that makes this even more critical.
Okay, Dr. Lee, break down the science for me. What's happening inside my body?
So there's this thing called sarcopenia, basically age-related muscle loss. Between ages 65 and 80, you lose about 8% of your muscle mass every decade.
That's not great.
It gets more complicated. You're not just losing muscle mass overall, you're specifically losing what are called fast-twitch muscle fibers, also called type 2 fibers.
What do those do?
Those are the fibers responsible for explosive, powerful movements, like standing up quickly or catching yourself when you stumble. The research shows that these fibers deteriorate faster than your slow-twitch fibers.
And let me guess, slow twitch fibers are what I use when I walk?
Exactly. Walking primarily uses your slow-twitch fibers for steady endurance activities. It does almost nothing for those fast-twitch fibers that you desperately need for balance and fall prevention.
Oh, wow. So I'm exercising the fibers that are less affected by aging, but not the ones that are really declining.
You got it. And Nancy, remember when we did your initial balance assessment? What happened?
Oh gosh, I couldn't stand on one leg for more than 5 seconds without grabbing onto something.
And that's because after 75, 3 systems that control your balance start declining at the same time.
Which 3?
Your vision, which naturally declines, your inner ear system, your vestibular system, which also weakens, and the nerve sensors in your feet and joints, which become less responsive.
So I'm losing balance information from 3 different sources at once. That's terrifying.
It can feel that way. But here's the good news. These systems can be trained and improved. That's exactly what the 5 exercises we're going to discuss do.
And walking doesn't train them?
Walking helps maintain what you have, but it doesn't provide enough challenge to actually improve these systems. That's why you need specific exercises.
All right, so let's talk about these 5 exercises. Dr. Lee, you had me start with just one exercise first, right?
Yes, I always tell my patients to start with one and build from there. Nancy, which one did we start with?
Sit to stand, standing up from a chair without using my hands.
And why did we start there?
Because I was struggling with it. I couldn't get off my toilet without pushing myself up with my hands. It was embarrassing.
First of all, nothing to be embarrassed about. It's extremely common. And here's why it matters. A study found that older adults who can't do chair stands without arm support have 2.6 times greater risk of severe mobility problems.
When you told me that, it really scared me straight.
It's serious. This exercise specifically trains your quadriceps, glutes, and core to generate explosive power, the exact type of strength walking doesn't develop.
So for anyone listening, here's how you do it. Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, cross your arms over your chest, lean forward slightly, then push through your heels and stand up in one smooth motion.
Perfect explanation. And Nancy, you couldn't do this at all when we started. How many can you do now?
I can do 10 repetitions without any struggle. It's amazing. And you know what I noticed? Getting in and out of my car is so much easier now.
That's the real-world impact. These exercises translate directly to daily activities.
Okay, what's exercise number 4?
Number 4, heel raises, also called calf raises. Nancy, were you doing these?
I am now. Stand facing a counter for support. Rise up onto the balls of your feet, hold for 2 seconds, then lower slowly. This one is for preventing backward falls, right?
Exactly. Your calf muscles are what kick in when you start falling backward. If they're weak, you can't recover. And here's the key difference. Walking uses your calves, but only at about 20 to 30% of their capacity.
And heel raises?
70 to 90% capacity. That extra strength is what saves you when you step on something uneven or lose your balance. The research shows that calf strengthening can improve standing balance by up to 35%.
I actually do these while waiting for my coffee to brew in the morning. It's become such a habit.
That's perfect. Making them part of your daily routine is key. 10 to 15 raises twice a day.
Number 3 is standing leg lifts, lifting your legs straight back behind you. This one was tough for me at first.
It's challenging. This targets your glutes and hip extensors. Nancy, tell everyone why this one mattered for you.
I was having trouble with stairs. Going upstairs felt really unstable, like my legs weren't strong enough, and I was shuffling my feet a lot instead of lifting them.
Classic signs of weak hip muscles. And here's the science. Studies show that your glutes only activate at about 20–25% capacity during normal walking.
So even though I was walking every day, my hip muscles weren't getting strong enough?
Exactly. Standing leg lifts get those muscles working at 60 to 80% capacity, which is the threshold you need to actually build strength.
And now, 3 months later, stairs are so much easier. I don't grab the railing with both hands anymore.
That's fantastic progress, Nancy.
Okay, number 2 is the one that showed me just how bad my balance had gotten. Single leg stance. Dr. Lee, when you first asked me to stand on one foot, I was shocked.
Tell everyone what happened.
I couldn't do it for more than 5 seconds. I immediately started wobbling and had to grab onto the counter. I honestly felt embarrassed.
But Nancy, that assessment gave us critical information. Here's what the research shows. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that an inability to stand on one leg for 10 seconds was associated with nearly double the risk of death from any cause over the next 10 years.
That statistic really motivated me.
And look at you now. How long can you hold single leg stance?
About 30 seconds on each leg. I'm so proud of that.
You should be. That's incredible progress. And the reason walking doesn't help with this is because when you walk, you're always moving. You always have momentum. You never have to hold your balance perfectly still on one leg.
Right, and those small stabilizing muscles around my ankles, those never got trained by walking.
Exactly. For anyone listening, start by standing next to a counter or wall. Shift your weight onto one leg, lift the other foot just an inch or two off the ground, and hold for as long as you can. Work up to 60 seconds over time.
And don't feel bad if you can only do a few seconds at first. That's where I started.
Which brings us to number 1, the most important exercise, tandem stance, also called heel-to-toe balance.
This one is still my biggest challenge, but I'm getting better.
Nancy, explain what tandem stance is.
You place one foot directly in front of the other foot so your heel touches your toes, and you try to hold that position, like walking a tightrope but standing still.
Perfect. And this one is the most powerful for preventing falls. The World Health Organization analyzed over 25,000 participants and found that balance exercises, with tandem stance being one of the most effective, reduced falls by 42%.
42%? That's almost half.
Almost half of falls can be prevented with the right exercises. Nancy, why do you think this one is so challenging?
Because it's so narrow. Your feet are in a straight line and you're trying not to wobble side to side. It uses muscles I didn't even know I had.
Those are your lateral hip stabilizers, muscles that walking barely uses at all. When you walk normally, your feet are always shoulder-width apart. You never challenge those sidewise stabilizing muscles.
And those muscles are important for turning around, right? Which is where I used to feel most unsteady.
Exactly. Most dangerous falls, the ones that cause hip fractures, are sideways falls, falls that happen when you're turning around, when you're in tight spaces like bathrooms.
So for anyone listening, start with semi-tandem stance. Place one foot slightly ahead of the other, not quite touching. Hold for 10 seconds near a wall. Then progress to full tandem stance where your heel actually touches your toes.
Great advice. And Nancy can now hold full tandem stance for about 20 seconds.
I'm working toward 30. And honestly, I notice the difference when I'm walking around my house. I feel so much more stable when I turn corners.
Nancy, I want to ask you something. When you first came to me 3 months ago, what was your biggest fear?
Falling and breaking my hip. My neighbor fell last year and broke her hip, and she's never been the same. She had to move into assisted living. That terrified me.
And that's a completely valid fear. Hip fractures are life-changing injuries for seniors.
I kept thinking, I don't want to lose my independence. I don't want to be a burden to my kids. But I also didn't know what to do about it. I was already walking every day.
And that's why this information is so critical. You were doing what you'd been told to do, but it wasn't enough.
Right. And honestly, when you first told me about these 5 exercises, I thought, this sounds like a lot. I don't have time for all this.
That's a common reaction. What changed your mind?
You told me it would only take 10-15 minutes a day. And you said I could start with just one exercise. That made it feel doable.
And now, 3 months later, how long does it take you to do all 5 exercises?
Maybe 10 minutes total. I do them in the morning while I'm making breakfast. Heel raises while my coffee brews, sit to stands while waiting for my toast, leg lifts while watching the morning news.
You've integrated them beautifully into your routine.
And the difference in how I feel is incredible. I'm not scared to turn around quickly anymore. I can reach up into my cabinets without worrying about losing my balance. I feel confident again.
That confidence is so important. Fear of falling can be just as limiting as actually falling.
Absolutely. I was starting to limit what I did because I was scared. Now I feel like I have my life back.
Okay, so let's recap for everyone listening. We've got 5 exercises: sit to stand, heel raises, standing leg lifts, single leg stance, and tandem stance.
And the key point is that each one fills a specific gap that walking leaves behind.
Exactly. Walking is still good, definitely keep walking, but walking trains forward movement at a steady pace. It doesn't train explosive leg power. It doesn't train calf strength for backward falls. It doesn't train hip stability, and it doesn't train the balance systems you need for real-world situations.
Falls don't happen during steady forward walking. They happen during transitions, turns, reaching, standing up, reacting to something unexpected. That's what these exercises prepare you for.
And before, Nancy couldn't stand on one leg for more than 5 seconds. Now she can do 30 seconds.
And I couldn't stand up from a chair without using my hands. Now I can do 10 repetitions easily.
The research shows that together, these exercises can reduce fall risk by up to 42% and dramatically improve independence. And we're seeing exactly that with Nancy.
Okay, so if someone's listening to this and thinking, all right, I want to start this, what would you recommend, Dr. Lee?
Start with just one exercise. Pick the one that seems most relevant to you or the one you find most challenging. Practice it for a week until it feels comfortable, then add the next one.
And don't feel bad if you struggle at first. I couldn't do any of these exercises properly when I started.
That's so important to hear, Nancy. This isn't about being perfect. It's about starting where you are and making gradual progress.
What about safety? What should people watch out for?
Great question. Always practice near a wall or counter. Never practice in socks on slippery floors. Wear shoes with good grip. If you feel dizzy or have sharp pain, stop immediately. And if you have specific medical conditions, check with your doctor first.
I always keep a chair or counter within arm's reach when I practice these exercises. Safety first.
Exactly. And in terms of progression, don't rush. When you can comfortably complete the recommended repetitions with good form, then you can progress. But there's no timeline. Some people progress quickly, others take longer. Both are fine.
I took my time with each level, and I'm glad I did. Building that foundation made me feel more confident.
That's the right approach.
Dr. Lee, what really struck me through this whole process is how preventable falls actually are. I always thought falling was just part of getting old.
That's such a common misconception, and it breaks my heart. Falling is not an inevitable part of aging. Yes, your body changes, but with the right exercises, you can maintain strength and balance well into your 80s and 90s.
And the exercises aren't complicated. They're not expensive. You don't need a gym.
Exactly. The barrier isn't difficulty or cost. The barrier is information. Most people just don't know about these exercises.
They're told to walk, so they walk, and they think they're covered.
Right, and walking is great for so many things. Cardiovascular health, mood, circulation. Keep walking, but add these 5 exercises.
You know what else I think about? My kids. They were getting worried about me. They were starting to talk about whether I should keep living alone.
And now?
Now they see how much stronger and more confident I am. That conversation about assisted living has completely stopped. I'm staying in my home, staying independent, and that means everything to me.
That's the ripple effect. When a senior falls and breaks a hip, it doesn't just affect them, it affects their whole family. The emotional toll, the financial impact, it's massive.
So preventing that fall in the first place changes everything.
Everything. That's why this information is so important to share.
All right, so we want to hear from you all. If you're listening and you're over 75 or you have parents or grandparents in that age range, which of these 5 exercises do you think would be most helpful?
Yeah, and what's your biggest concern about staying independent as you age? Is it fear of falling? Struggling with stairs? Losing the ability to drive?
Send us your questions, your experiences. I read every message, and it's so encouraging to hear from people who are on the same journey.
And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone you love who might benefit. Send it to your parents, your grandparents, friends in your community.
Every fall prevented is a life protected. I love that saying.
Okay, Nancy, before we wrap up, what's your biggest takeaway from these past 3 months?
Honestly, it's that I'm stronger than I thought I was. When I first started, I felt old and weak and scared. Now I feel capable and confident, and it only took 10 minutes a day.
That's beautiful, and it shows what's possible when you have the right information and the right exercises.
And it's never too late. I'm 76, and I'm getting stronger every week. If I can do it, anyone can.
All right, everyone, that's it for today's episode of Healthy Aging Talks. Thanks so much for listening.
Remember, Walking is wonderful. Keep doing it, but add these 5 exercises to fill in the gaps and protect your independence.
We'll drop links in the show notes to resources about each of these exercises, including some helpful videos if you want to see them demonstrated.
And next week, we're talking about the most common balance mistakes seniors make and how to fix them. You won't want to miss it.
Until then, stay strong, stay safe, and take care of yourself.
See you next time, and remember, you're never too old to get stronger.